It's Roxy with Broadway Breakdown, and today I'm going to talk about how to pick a show. So first off, I think it's always good to think about your budget before you pick a show, and that's probably obvious. I mean, everyone thinks about what do I have to spend on this show, and that's true from Broadway on down. Getting your getting a producer to think about your investors and all the way down. But sometimes it's how you allot that money. Because I've gone to shows where I think they spent a lot on costumes, which is very important, but they kind of forgot about, spending it on a good sound system, or they didn't think about, allotting it to orchestra, or, sometimes you can afford to pay your actors if you're a smaller, community theater or smaller company. Not so much if you're in school. Sorry, kids. That'll come later. But it's allotting your budget properly, I think, to have a really successful show. And it depends on the show. It depends on what show you've picked, how you're going to allot that budget. I've seen Sweeney Todd done in a black box theater that sat 150 people. And, they really wanted to do Sweeney Todd. And all that takes is Mrs. Lovett's pie shop and the barber shop and the chair configuration. Pretty abstract. Was it the greatest production of Sweeney Todd? I don't know. Maybe. No, not the greatest. But but I've seen a concert production of it where, really wasn't a full stage. It was more like ramps and mics and a abstract chair sort of thing with just minimal props. But Patti LuPone starred in it as Mrs. Lovett, and I think that's where they blew the budget. And it was awesome. It was worth it. Every penny, whatever they spent. But it's if it's your dream and you want to do it, then go for it. You have a small theater, you want to do the Who's Tommy, and you're thinking, we're getting that pinball machine in here somehow, some way, then go for it. We don't have a fly system to fly Tommy in, but we're getting that. We're doing that show. Then, go for it. Go for it. So, and then that brings me to venue. If you're a set company or community theater, you know where you're doing your show. If you're a school and it's your school auditorium or school theater, then you know where you're doing your show. Some schools don't have a set theater or auditorium, but then they can make some really small, smart choices. I know of a school, I saw a production of the 25th annual school Putnam Spelling Bee, and they didn't have a theater. They just had a gym. They were just an up-and-coming school, and they had a very small drama department, like 20 kids, and he made a really wise choice, the director, to pick that show because it was a small show, and that show's set in like a gymnasium. So, he blew a lot of budget on a good band, some good lighting, hiring a good choreographer, and it worked. The whole thing worked, and I was like, smart director, because that was good. So, it's you work with what you have, and then I've seen other schools who don't have an auditorium to perform in, and they spend a huge chunk of their budget renting a nice huge venue, professional venue. So it just depends on, again, where you want to allot your funds, and then they'll pick a huge sweeping show, big show like a Mary Poppins or something, so however you want to spend your money. And then that gets me to talent pool, because some of these either schools or companies, they kind kind of know their talent pool, what they're going to pull from. You know, they kind of already have somebody set in mind or for leads, and they'll pick a show according to who they have or who they're going to use, and that's fine. And if you're a school, it's okay to precast in your head. That's smart. That's really smart to do that, because if you're a school and you're thinking right now, before they graduate, I have a great Jack Kelly and Catherine and some boys that can dance, and I can rope some girls and make them boys. So this is my year to do Newsies. That's smart. They don't have to know that, but you know, in your head, you're like, yeah. And then somebody comes in for auditions, you know, you've got John Doe and Jane Doe set to cast, but then Jack Smith comes in and gives a great audition, and you're like, wow, I didn't know he could sing. Now you've got choices, and that's okay. That's great. You know, it's better to have choices than be stuck and go, oh my God. You know, like, you announce Legally Blonde, you're going to do Legally Blonde, and then you audition, and you have no Elle Woods. Wah, wah. I mean, now you're stuck, and you should have really thought about that. I mean, you were jazzed about doing Legally Blonde without thinking, I don't have a lead. You know? So, you can't just pick a show and hope for the best and hope it's going to all work out. These are things to think of beforehand. So, that might sound obvious, but I've gone to see shows where I really think, that director didn't think it through, you know, or either they just didn't cast properly, you know. I've gone to see a Chicago where they had a great Roxie, and Velma was. And I'm thinking, why would you pick a show where you had one great lead? I mean, this is meant for two strong female leads. So you had one great one and not the other one. If you really wanted to do, you know, a Candor and Ebb Fosse kind of thing, and you only had one strong girl, do Cabaret, you know, you got a Sally Bowles. Why would you pick for two strong female lead? I mean, you know, you didn't think that through. You couldn't have thought that through, but that's what I'm saying. Think it through. And for your budget, you know, do you have, or does it take a big sweeping orchestra? You know, is it a Lerner and Lowe? Is it a, you know, Oscar and Hammerstein? Is it a Cole Porter? You know, are the kids just going to be in the orchestra? Can they handle it? Is it Sondheim? Can they handle anything Sondheim? I mean, you know, but can I supplement professional musicians for them for this? Or is it just going to take a small band, you know? Is it a head over heels kind of thing, you know? Is it just you know, with just the Go-Go's music, and it's just going to take a small band? You know, I don't know. Who knows? Is it a huge dance show? You know, am I going to need, is it a big choreography? Is it a 9 to 5 where, you know, I'm just going to need, I'm a director, but I can't dance. I'm going to need to hire, you know, somebody with really fun, imaginative, fresh choreography for this. So, you know, I want to do chorus line. I don't know Michael Bennett's choreography, and that's a show you just got to stick with Michael Bennett's choreography. I mean, that show is between the opening and the so well-known one, you know, at the end. You gotta pick somebody that knows what they're doing. So, all things to think about. Have you been doing it so long you have a really good wardrobe, you know, room that you can go back and repurpose stuff, or you've got to kind of start from scratch and go, well, you know, I want to do Beauty and the Beast, but oh my God, those huge costumes, you know, with Lumiere and Cogsworth, and you know, so it's going to take a lot of my budget to rent or make. So all important things to think about when thinking of your upcoming shows this season, and hopefully we're going to be back this season. But first and foremost, I mean, it's just got to be something you're passionate about, your cast is going to be passionate about, your staff, your company, whoever, and it's going to be entertaining. It's going to sell tickets. The audience is going to want to see it. You're going to want to rehearse it every day for however many weeks, and you know, everybody's going to want to be a part of it and enjoy it, and that's what's the most important thing. So just, it's about having fun, being together, and enjoying the show. So good luck, and I'll see you on my next video.